I cannot sit here in silence any longer. I must defend myself. Friends and fellow citizens, I stand before you tonight under indictment for the alleged crime of having voted at the last presidential election without having a lawful right to vote. It shall be my work this evening to prove to you that in thus voting, I not only committed no crime, but instead simply exercised my citizens' rights guaranteed to me and all United States citizens by the national Constitution, beyond the power of any state to deny. The preamble of the Federal Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." It was we, the people, not we, the white male citizens, not we, the male citizens, but we, the whole people who formed the Union. And we formed it not to give the blessing of liberty, but to secure them, not to the have of ourselves and to the have of our posterity, but to the whole people, women as well as men. And it's a downright mockery to talk to women of their enjoyment of the blessings of liberty, while they are denied the use of the only means of securing them, provided by this democratic Republican government, the ballot. Webster, and Bouvier all define a citizen person in the United States entitled to vote and hold office. The only question left to be settled now is, are women persons? And I hardly believe any of our opponents will have the hardihood to say they are not. Being persons, then, women are citizens, and no state has a right to make any law or to enforce any old law that shall abide their privileges or immunities. Hence, every discrimination against women in the Constitution and in laws of several states is today null and void, precisely as is every one against Negroes.
The right of voting, or the privileges of voting, is a right or privilege arising under the Constitution of the state, and not of the United States. The qualifications are different in different states: citizenship, age, sex, residence, etc. If the state of New York should provide that no person should vote until he had reached the age of 31 years, or after he had reached the age of 50, or that no person having gray hair or who had not the use of all his limbs should be entitled to vote, I do not see how it could be held to my violation of any right derived or held under the Constitution of the United States. Miss Anthony knew that she was a woman, and that the Constitution of the state prohibits her from voting. She intended to violate that provision, perhaps intended to test it, but certainly intended to violate it. Whoever without justifiable cause intentionally kills this neighbor is guilty of a crime. The principle is the same in that case before us and in all criminal cases. Assuming that Miss Anthony believed that she had a right to vote, that fact constitutes no defense if in truth she had not the right. She voluntarily gave a vote which was illegal, and thus is subject to the penalty of the law. Upon this evidence, I suppose that there is no question for the jury, and that the jury should be directed to find a verdict of guilty.
That is like crap and stuff. That is a direction no court has power to make in a criminal case.
Take the verdict, Miss Clerk.
Gentlemen of the jury, listen to your verdict as the court has recorded it. You say you find the defendant guilty of offense whereof she stands indicted, and so say you all.
The court cannot give direction that the jury find a verdict of guilty and stuff. A little that is a power not given to any court. Will the clerk poll the jury?
No! Gentlemen of the jury, you are free to leave.
That is crappy stuff.
Has the prisoner anything to say why her sentence shall not be pronounced?
Yes, Your Honor, I have many things to say. For on your ordered verdict of guilty, you have trampled underfoot every vital principle of our government. My natural rights, my civil rights, my political rights, my judicial rights are all alike ignored. Robbed of the fundamental privilege of citizenship, I am degraded from the status of a citizen to that of a subject. Not only myself individually, but all of my sex are, by your Honor's verdict, doomed to political subjection under this so-called form of government.
The court cannot listen to a rehearsal of arguments your counsel has already presented.
When I was brought before your Honor for trial, I hoped for a broad and liberal interpretation of the Constitution, recent amendments that should declare equality of rights, national guarantee to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, but failing to get this justice, failing even to get a trial by a jury not of my peers, I ask not leniency at your hands, but rather the full vigors of the law.
The sentence of the court is that you pay a fine of $100 and the cost of the prosecution.
May it please your honor, I shall never pay a dollar of your unjust penalty. I shall earnestly and persistently continue to urge all women to the practical recognition of the old revolutionary maxim that resistance to tyranny is obedience to God.